what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's to my channel if you're new. My name is Runaby, and what is the Bumbaclat tea? What's up? Subscribe, will ya? So, obviously we are back with another sit-down video. And as you can tell by the title, I'm going to talk about daddy issues. Yeah. Because I feel like, do you know what? I feel like as women, we're so quick to say, obviously towards men, they're like, oh, you have mommy issues, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes, and a lot of the time, the reason why like our relationships aren't as healthy as we would like it to be, or don't last as long as we would like it to be, or last as long as we'd want it to, it's because of our own issues. And a lot of that does stem from our fathers and our mothers, but I want to specifically talk about daddy issues within women. So this is also something that I had to come into terms with myself, and had to like do a lot of self-reflection when it also came to my relationships with men and even other women as well. So I thought I might as well shed my own light, my own 2 cents, my own self-realizations, and hopefully that will be able to help one of you guys out there. First things first, what I want to start off with, I hate the fact that the term fatherless behavior has become a thing. I think it's the most disgusting thing that has been brought up into our society, or the lingo that has been put into our communities. Because it's like, how dare you blame the child for the actions or lack thereof of the parental figure? Do you know what I mean? Like, and once again, it's always putting blame on the child when it's like, they obviously clearly had no input into the parents' job. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's not their fault that the parents couldn't do what they were supposed to do. Or, yeah. Do you get what I mean? So I feel like as a society, as a human race, can we please just cut out the term fatherless behavior, motherless behavior? Like, I think that's just so disgusting, and does more harm than good. Like, it's just not necessary. And I'm talking to you specifically because I know you guys like to use it so much when it comes to women. Like, just cut it out. Like, it's annoying. Like, but segueing off from that, I think obviously it's important to know how daddy issues can, I say quotes unquote because it sounds, I don't know, it just doesn't sound nice in my ears, but can manifest out for different women. Obviously, I think we all know the common ones, that's like going for older men unconsciously in a way that like you may think that that's just your type, but you being attracted to older men does stem from your relationship with your father. Do you know what I mean? Hypersexualization of themselves, and I feel like that's a big thing that women are not aware of, that the hypersexualization of themselves, let alone other men, but of themselves, does stem from their relationship with their father or lack thereof. So I feel like that's one thing that us women need to be a lot more like aware of, because it also will do you more harm than good if you're not self-aware in that aspect. Seeking validation from men, I think that's like a normal one to be aware of. Be always seeking validation from men, being like, oh, do I look good? Do I look sexy? Or let me do my makeup this type of way so that like I can attract men. Or like going to clubs. That might be a bit of a controversial topic, but going to clubs, seeking out men and wanting men to approach them. It's like, oh, I'll dress a certain type of way, I'll look a certain type of way, I'll fit a certain type of aesthetic. We could even go down to the extent of doing BBLs, getting fillers and surgeries to fit a aesthetic just so you can attract a certain type of attention from a certain gender. Attachment issues, either anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, trust issues. I know that's one thing that I struggle with the most is trust issues. Attracting abusive relationships. If you grew up in a household where your father was consistently abusing your mother, or your father did not display signs of affection and protection, and being that like in his masculine energy and being that provider and that in that healthy space, if you did not see examples of that within your parents, most likely you're going to attract those type of men into your life. And unfortunately, a lot of it is subconscious, and you wouldn't know. That's like, oh, why am I consistently attracting the same type of men? The ones that like abuse me, they use me, they manipulate me. Either abuse in an emotional way, a mental way, a physical way, a financial way, a spiritual way. Like a lot of the times we are unconscious to the fact that like the relationships with our parents can also trigger us to manifest the same type of relationships as well. And even if it's a thing where your father wasn't in your life, that can also stem from it too, because you didn't even have an example of how a man is supposed to treat you in the first place. I think that's something for me that I had to like come to terms with. Was like, I lived with my mother my whole life. I grew up with my mother. My father wasn't really like physically in my life. Like there'd be times where like he would call and stuff like that. You get what I mean? But I kid you not, I could probably reverbal our conversation from start to finish. Like it was so repetitive. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was just the same questions. Oh, how is school? How are your friends? Not knowing that the friends that you're asking about, I've cut them off like 3 years ago. Do you get what I mean? But obviously you don't know that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there was no actual like emotional connection. There was no, like, I didn't know who that nigga was. Like, do you know what I mean? And this is not to like bash any of my parents. This video is not to bash or blame any of our parents, because a lot of the times they're just repeating a cycle that they weren't even aware that was a cycle. But the reason why I want to make this video, I want to start this whole series of like self-healing, self-learning, being aware of like your trauma triggers, or unconscious to like how you're attracting certain type of people and certain type of relationships, is so that we can become aware and change our behaviors and change our mindset, because a lot of it is down to how you think of yourself and what you feel like you deserve subconsciously. Emphasis on the subconsciously. Because your subconscious controls a lot of who you are, and I don't think people are aware of that too, but we'll get into that later on in future. Do you get what I mean? But yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's just some examples. You can also do your own research as well if you're more interested in how it could have played or affected you. But go off, sis. But yeah, I guess for me, as I said, I grew up with my mom my whole life. And like, shout out to her. Honestly, even though our relationship isn't the best, but one thing I can say is that she was a very powerful. But I think that's why I am the way I am, and I'm very much. That's another thing as well. Hyper independence. But for me, I feel like that stems from more my mom than my dad. But we're not going to get into that. Honestly, like there was a time where he did come to Ireland for like a month or so. But you know what's so crazy? I don't even remember that time period. Like I remember him coming only because there's pictures of him being here. But I don't actually remember him actually being here. And it's like the more I learn about like psychology and trauma, like things like repressed memory can happen, where it's like you don't remember moments, years of your life. And that's with me. Like, I don't remember anything. Like, I can only remember like small moments. But like, if I can't even tell you what happened in first year of uni, let alone when I was like 10. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't remember a lot of my childhood, which scares me a little bit, because it's like, because it's like, is that, I don't know, like, part of me is like, is that a good thing that I don't remember a lot of my childhood? Because it could either stem from like abuse that has like impacted me so much that my brain has just completely shut it out. So for my own benefit, my brain rather just not remember it. Or is it a bad thing? I don't know. Like I'm still kind of in between those two, because I'm just like it scares me that I can't remember. But then I'm at the same time, I'm like, is it for my own benefit that I can't remember? In terms of my own relationship, there really wasn't any. As I said, it was very much just a phone call type of thing. And like when I was younger, it didn't like affect me too much until, oh my God, a memory just came up now. Wow. Until one time when I was in first class and we did like this like arts and crafts project type of thing. And we had to like talk about like our family. And when I was younger, especially, I would always say that there's four of my family: me, myself, I said myself, me, my mother, my sister, and my brother. The four of us. That's it. Like, I would never include him into it because there was never actually as I said, a relationship there. Like, I didn't actually even know who he is. Even till now, I can't fully say I know who he is, like, as a human being. Until then, the teacher was like, okay, yeah, what about your father? Like, you clearly have a father. And I don't know, like, that could, like, triggered something in me at that point that I was like, oh, like, I don't, like, when she would, like, she would ask me about questions about him, like, oh, what information can you put in with your father? Do you know what I mean? And I was like, bro, like, I don't know. Like, I can't even tell you his age. I like, do you know what I mean? Like, I barely even know his name like that, but that sounds so bad, but I couldn't even tell you what he does for work. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't give you anything. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's when things kind of, like, switched for me. That I was like, because then everybody else was talking about, like, their fathers and, like, how, like, their fathers would do this with them and their favorite men with their father. And I think that's, yeah, like, that kind of, like, yeah. I'm going back in circles, but that's basically when things started, like, to trigger for me. That I was like, oh, shit, this is not normal. Like, there's people that actually have, like fathers that are physically present and, like, emotionally present in their lives. So I was like, okay, side-eye. One way it manifested out for me was a bit of, like, hyper masculinity / hyper independence. I said before earlier on that I feel like that came more from my mom, but I think with not having a masculine parental figure in my life also emphasized that a lot more, especially, like, my own, like, masculine energy. Because obviously, as human beings, regardless of the gender, you have both masculine and feminine traits and energies within you. Do you get what I mean? But obviously, depending on your gender, will determine how strong each energy is displayed out. Do you know what I mean? In your physical appearance or your internal feeling, I guess. But for me, I would say I grew up a lot more tomboyish than anything, even though, like, my outside appearance is quite feminine. Like, obviously, you see me and you're like, oh, that's a girl. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know I'm a girl. But when I was younger, I feel like even the way I dressed was a lot more, like, tomboyish type of vibe. It's only now, like, within the last year that I've allowed myself to dress more from, like, when I was younger, I hated skirts. You would not dare catch me in a skirt, in a dress, none of that. Like, it's only if even back then, like, it's only if, like, I had no pants for, like, school uniform, like, if I ripped my pants or I was too broke to buy school pants, that you'll catch me in, like, a dress for, like, school or whatever. But even, like, wearing a dress, I hated it. So, like, it made me feel so uncomfortable. So yeah, as I said, like, it's only in the last, like, year that I've allowed myself to proper, like, you know, feel comfortable and feel feminine and embrace that side of me with dresses and skirts and how I dress and stuff like that, and, like, do my nails and stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, feel pretty in my femininity and feel confident in my femininity. But that's because I had to force myself, because I was like, I can't be like this forever. Like, do you know what I mean? But I think that's one thing that triggered it, because. And also, like, how my family dynamic played about too, and, like, the position that I kind of played in my family's dynamic, I kind of had to be that masculine energy. Because my brother's, like, the youngest of the three of us, you know what I mean? So how can you expect, like, a 5-year-old to be the man of the house? Like, it doesn't work like that, you know what I mean? So, yeah. It was, like, a thing where, like, if the light needed fixed, I was the one that would call. If the switch needed to be fixed, I was one that would be called. If the table needs to be fixed, I was one that... Do you know what I mean? Like, so I kind of... Which was actually a good thing. Like, it was a kind of a blessing in disguise, because now, baby, I'm the best DIY bitch you will ever come across. Like, I can literally put together anything. I can fix anything. Like, the way my brain just works, like, it's amazing. Like, I have skills for days. Nobody can chat for me. Nobody has chat for me. Do you know what I mean? So... it actually worked out better than I expected for me, so I'm not complaining. But yeah, and then even on the emotional side of things, especially with my relationships with other men, I think, as I said, trust issues developed within me, avoidant attachment, anxious attachment. I feel like I have both. I'll be so honest. Like, with me, it's like I could be so like obsessed with somebody, right? Like I could meet somebody, we vibe, and I'm like, oh my god, but I wish like twins. Like what the hell? Like I feel like I've known this person my whole life, type of vibe. Do you know what I mean? And I'll get so like attached to you so quickly. Like I'll get so attached to the person so quickly. But then it's like as soon as I feel, it could either go two ways. I'll be so it's either I feel, as soon as I feel like you're not giving me what I want, I'll back out like that. Do you know what I mean? I'll back out so quick. Like I'll become so cold, and especially with friendships as well. Oh my god, I feel like I'm worse. No, I feel like my avoidance attachment comes out more in friendship than does in like romantic relationships. Because when it comes to friendships, like, and I know somebody's probably going to be out there watching that I've done this to, and if I did do it to you, I don't apologize because you probably do deserve it. But you probably did deserve it. Like I'll be so honest, so I actually don't apologize. But hear me out. There'll be times where like I'd have certain friends, right, that I'm like, do you know what? I'm tired of this. I can't deal with this friendship. You're stressing me out. You're draining the crap out of me, and I'll just block you. No conversation, no heads up, no, oh, I have a problem with this. Like, no, I don't care. Like, as soon as I've mentally checked out, emotionally checked out, that's it for you. Like, and the thing is, I have pride and I'm very stubborn. Taurus is what I am. Yes. I have pride and I'm very stubborn. And sometimes I let my ego get the best of me. So it's like, I don't care. Like, that's it. You're done. I'll block you and I'll move on with my life. If I see you in public, if I see you in town, I have never met that man in my life. Type of energy. Do you know what I mean? I don't know you. I've never met you before. I don't know anything about. Get away from me. That's kind of the energy that sometimes I used to. We're trying to change. I'm trying to change right now. But like that I used to like maneuver with, which is very unhealthy. I know that. I'm learning how to like communicate with people now. But yeah. Or like not even like, anyways, yeah. So it can either go down that way, or on the anxious side of things, side of things, it's either like I'll be like, so I want you. I'll try and hold on, even though I know the person isn't giving me the energy that I want or the energy that I need to feel secure and to feel safe. I'll hold on to that relationship so much because I want to feel love. I want the idea of being in a relationship so badly that like I'll hold on to somebody even though I know that they're horrible for me, even though I know that they're abusing the shit out of me, even though I know that they're taking advantage of me and they're mistreating me, and them being in my life is doing more harm than good. I will hold on to them so tightly because I fear abandonment, I guess. Wow. Because of the fear of abandonment, the fear of rejection, and the fear of like of wanting that like masculine energy and that masculine love so desperately that I lacked within my father. So I hold on to that when it comes to like my relationships with men. Wow. God. So yeah, so for me it's both sides. It's either, depending on the person, will trigger whatever style of attachment that I go down towards. Even when it comes to relationships, I feel like, personally, I've never been in a relationship. And, this is some tea. I probably have told you guys, some of you guys in the past, that I have like exes and stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry, I lied. I won't even lie. I've never been in a relationship. No, I haven't. But here's the thing. I have a good reason for lying, right? The only reason why I lied was because I wanted to fit in. Like, it sounds so sad, and it is sad. It's depressing, and it's sad, and it's actually really like side eye. But like, I wanted to fit in because, especially during uni times, like, to me, it just seemed like everybody had a relationship. Everybody, like, was falling in love. Everybody was just like, everybody like I just didn't want to seem like I was a loser. Because in my head, I was like, why is it that it's so easy for everybody else to get into relationships, but I can't? Like, why? Is there something wrong with me? Like, why can't I get to that stage? Why? Do you know what I mean? Like, is it because I'm ugly? Like, is my personality shit? Like, what do I need to do to change myself so that men can like me and I can get to, do you know what I mean? Like, it was really, it got that deep. So it got to a point where like I had to full on lie just so I could feel I could look normal. Do you know what I mean? So I would say I'm sorry, but once again, I'm not sorry because, your girl had to do what she had to do at the time. Now I've learned, I've grown, and we move on. Yeah. But I feel like, okay, obviously, with this, like, the whole daddy issues thing, we always talk about, like, the romantic side of things and how that can play an effect with your romantic relationships with men. But I feel like a part, an aspect that does not get talked about enough is your friendships as well with men. And how that can deeply, like, affect it too. With me, I noticed with me, I came about certain individuals that would abuse me, and I didn't realize that it had an effect until later on, and I started to actually do, like, a lot of self-reflection. I started going to therapy and stuff like that. I had a friend, heavy quotation marks on the friend, who I thought was my friend, sexually abused me. And I didn't even know it was sexual abuse until I had talked about it with a past friend of mine. This friend was a girl, right? And my sister. Because obviously when it happened, I was so taken aback, because I was like, what the hell? Like, what the hell just happened? Like, this is supposed to be my friend. So why is this happening? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I was just so confused until I talked about it with my friend and my ex-friend and my sister. And I kid you not, they both had the exact same reactions. And they were like, what the fuck, Serena? Like, you need to cut that nigga off now. Like, that is not your friend. And do you know what's so sad when I think about it? Do you know what is so sad? Even when they were telling me that, like, what he did was wrong and, like, that's not right, that's not what a friend's supposed to do, you need to cut him off, blah, blah, blah. I was still there trying to defend him, saying that, like, oh yeah, but he said this, and he said that, blah, blah. And they were like, what the hell, that's not an excuse. Like, you can't be making excuses for him. Like, he's an abuser. Like, you don't be doing that. Like, and it wasn't until, like, I talked to both of them that it properly, like, knocked into my brain that, like, yo, Zarina, like, you need to actually, like, cut this nigga off for real, because this is not on. And you know what's so crazy? It, like, the moment where it actually properly, like, triggered for me was when I tried to call him out for it. So I went back to him and I was like, yo, what you did was not okay, like, at all. Like, that's not on whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? And do you know what his response was? He got so defensive. He turned so nasty. And defensive. His tone of voice, the way he spoke to me, the words he used were so vile. And I think that's when I was like, oh wow, so this is who you actually are? That's crazy. Yeah. And that's when I was like, okay, no, what my sister, my ex-friend was saying was actually right. The fact that you can't even acknowledge what I'm saying towards you, instead you turn defensive and try to switch the blame as if I'm the person. That's what he did. Like, he tried to make it as if I was the cause that he can't control himself sexually. And he can't control, like, do you know what I mean? So then that's when I was like, oh, wow. Okay, this is what we're dealing with. Yeah, I think from that point on, my idea of, like, male friendships and men in general turned so, like, how do I explain it? It turned so negative. I'm not even gonna, like, even now when I'm speaking to you guys right now, like, I know myself, I don't have the best viewpoints on men. I don't have the best healthy opinions when it comes to men, only because of my experiences. And I can only speak of my experiences and other women experiences that I know of as well. And I'm trying to fix that. I'm trying to, like, change that narrative and change the way I interact with men. and speak about men, because I know it's because obviously for somebody like me that is attracted to men in a romantic and sexual way, I want to be able to have healthy relationships with men, even if it's romantic or platonic. Do you know what I mean? And that does come from your mindset and how you see things and how you talk about things. So I'm trying to like change that way, like that aspect of myself. But child, it's hard. When you've been through like very traumatic things with men, like it can be very hard to skew that mindset. And especially when you know a lot of other women that have been through similar situations that you have, it's very hard to change that narrative. Do you know what I mean? Which is why I'm always just like, I don't understand why men are always like, oh, women bash men outside, women. Was like, why wouldn't we feel the way that we feel towards you when all we have encountered with our interactions with you have been negative? From our personal experiences to our friends, to our sisters, to our aunties, to our mothers, to our great grandmothers, like I'm pretty sure every woman knows at least one other woman that has been abused in some type of way, or that has been traumatized in some type of way because of a man. Do you know what I mean? So it's like when so many women have similar experiences and similar like traumas, why wouldn't we feel the way we feel? Why wouldn't we speak up on these type of things? Why wouldn't we react and behave the way we do now? Do you get what I mean? So I'm just saying, I find myself now struggling to like develop healthy platonic friendships with men, because in the back of my mind I'm like, are we actually friends, or are we only friends because I don't want you in a sexual way, or because like nothing can ever happen between us, so you're just kind of staying in the friend zone for now in hopes that one day like I hit you up and I'll be like, hey sexy boy, like, do you know what I mean? And that always plays in my mind. And I was really like heavily thinking about that last night. And I won't lie, like it made me cry. Like I literally broke down crying, because I'm like, I don't know if I could fully even trust to even call you a friend. Like for me to say that this is my friend, like the word friend holds so much for me. I know everybody else likes to use the word friend like very, very loosely and willy-nilly. But for me, I don't like to call just anybody my friend. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're my friend, you're my friend. Whether you're a guy, whether you're a girl, whatever the fuck you want to identify as. If somebody has a problem with you, they have a problem with me. If somebody wants to fight you, you're fighting me too. Do you get what I mean? Especially if it's a guy, like I don't care. Like if you're beefing another person, you're beefing me too. Like I don't care. Like I will ride for you, like that type of vibe. Do you know what I mean? But it's like there's never that same energy back. And even at that, it's like, I don't know. Like I just feel like there's just such a disconnect between male friendships for me anyways, that it's like I never can really, like it never gets to the point where I want it to be, where it's like proper solidified. That's like if let's say my guy friend now, you're going through something emotionally, or like something traumatic happened to you and you just need someone to vent to, that I'm your person that you go to because you feel comfortable to talk about. Or if you want to like travel somewhere and it's like, yo Zuna, are you down this weekend? Let's dip. I'm like, yeah, my nigga, let's go. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's not like weird energy. Do you know what I mean? Or like whoa. Or like in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, if I go on holiday with this guy, is he going to try something with me? Should I be careful? Do you know what I mean? Like this is what runs into my head. Like, so, and I don't want it to be like that, because it's not healthy. But that's kind of something that I'm like trying to deal with right now and work my way around right now. But it's not easy. And I wish I could give advice for somebody else that's going through it now, but I don't know. I guess it just comes with time and with knowledge and with experience and with trying different ways on how to like develop healthy relationships. And I feel like, actually, even side note, I feel like the whole narrative of men and women can't just be friends validates that even more, because why? Do you know what I mean? Like, why can't men and women just be friends? Like, I don't get that. Like, why do people have that narrative and are like, I don't get that, because like it emphasizes more that as a woman, I should be wary of every man that comes into my life because I don't know your motives. And like, even though I could want the best for you, I could have pure intentions and I want to like be like that with you. But in the back of your mind, you have ill intentions for me, or like you're only claiming to be my friend, or sticking with the friendship title in hopes that one day I would want to be sexually intimate with you. And I think that's just so disgusting. And we need to like stop that whole narrative. But anyways, we move in it. Like, now where I am with life, as I said previously, I'm just learning how to develop healthy platonic, not even just necessarily platonic, 'cause as I said, I've never been in a relationship before, and I really want to experience that side of life, not even just for like the whole mushy I have a partner type of vibe, not even just that, but just so that even I can learn about myself more, because obviously being in that type of dynamic will bring out certain elements of you that you didn't even realize you had yourself. And I feel like you don't truly know yourself unless you have experienced that side of life, and I haven't. So I feel like there's so much about me that I still need to like uncover and discover, and being in a relationship is one of them type of things, you know what I mean? But I don't want to be in a relationship if I know that I have really like toxic, negative ideologies and mindsets when it comes to men. Because if I'm going into it, I want it to be healthy. I want it to be like nurturing, and like where both parties can evolve and develop as individuals and as a unit. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of where I am now. Learning how to rewire my perspective, I guess, on men. And learning how to develop healthy platonic friendships with men, and learning how to decipher and discern when somebody is actually a friend and when somebody actually isn't, and what I want from myself in that aspect. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I hope that makes sense. Fingers crossed. But that's kind of it for this video. I really do want to talk more deeper. I really do want to talk more in depth with this topic, because I feel like there's so much more to like unlock with it. But I think I'll bring somebody on so that they can also bring their own perspective onto it. If you want that video, please smash the like button and comment down below, and I'll definitely bring it on. I'll probably on my podcast side of things. And if you want the whole mommy issue side as well, trust me, I will spill that tea. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's kind of it. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.